Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast.
Tomorrow is opening day.
This morning, didn't have a great hunt. Deer didn't move like usual.
We just got set up in the middle of this bedding thicket. Saving this spot from the rut. I think it's a nice buck.
Boom! Hits a 170.
That was money. I think he's down right over there, maybe 10 yards.
Whitetail Legacy Podcast, bringing you back to the hunt and leaving a legacy.
Baller rut.
Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast. It's the October lull, as they say. We're feeling it this year. We're on top of the deer on cameras. We're on top of the does for sure. I've seen more does this year by now than I have any season. A few small bucks, but it's been a struggle for us right now. So I hope there's someone out there that can relate to us.
Yeah.
I've killed 2 on October 15th. That day's gone, blown by, you know what I mean? So this year we just but we'll get into that. We haven't touched our private yet, though.
Nope.
So that could be half the struggle right there. Let's get into the people that make this possible, and we'll get into this show. It's just going to be us catching you guys up on what we got going on, what our plans are for the remaining October and going into November, and how we think we might be able to get on some bucks because we haven't been successful yet. We're going out right after record right now, and
Yeah.
Homie's going to shoot one, get the morale up a little bit, I hope.
We were just talking before the show that we ain't going to see nothing.
Yeah, so we got warm temps, shit wind,
Yeah, it's
but you never know.
a mess. Yep. You just got to go.
We just got to go and set in a damn tree. But let's get into the people that make it possible, and then we'll get into the show. So we finally get to let you guys know that the Veteran VIP has a product coming out that's going to be new for next year called the Combat Veteran. It's an upgraded Veteran broadhead. This is our first chance to let you guys know. We've known about it a while, but had to keep it on the back burner. We're going to be hyping it up for the next few episodes. It's unbelievable engineered broadhead. I'm excited to send it through some critters and see how it does.
Yeah.
Matt just tediously got it done, and I don't know exactly how many details, but there was a lot of struggles to get it in the specs that he wanted, and he accomplished that. So I'm excited to see how they fly and
I would say we're jacked
see how they kill.
to get them in the hand and send it.
So I'm sure when we'll be able to release, we'll have a lot more details of how they've been for us. But as of now, that's about all we can tell you. There's something new coming out for VIP. It's going to be another broadhead, and just like everyone that he's ever invented, it's going to push the boundaries. It's going to be an engineering feat, because that's just how Matt and Cindy do stuff.
Yep.
So let's get into the VIP Veteran broadhead shout-out.
This week's shout-out is Daniel Barnes. He was in the U.S. Army as a staff sergeant. He deployed twice to Iraq, and on his second deployment in 2006, while conducting a route clearance mission looking for IEDs, and an Iraqi insurgent fired an RPG at his vehicle, and it hit his door. As a result, Daniel lost both his legs above the knee and is now in a wheelchair. Through all of that, Daniel is all about his family, which includes 4 sons, Toby, Jacob, twins Gavin and Henry, and his wife, Gretchen. He now stays busy with everything from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts, youth groups, JROTC activities, camping, fishing, hunting, baseball, soccer, basketball, and relaxing at home. Being injured has not stopped Daniel from his love and passion for the outdoors, whether it be camping or fishing or hunting. So, Daniel, we appreciate your service. We know that you're injured and are limited, but we are pumped up to hear that you are still passionate about the outdoors and, doing what you're doing with the Boy Scouts. So we appreciate that, and Matt and Cindy do as well.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. That's a huge sacrifice that you made for me and my family, so utmost respect for you. Way to keep living every day and showing the joy to your kids and getting them in the outdoors. That's memories that are going to be worth it in the long haul.
Yeah.
Let's get into Ingram's outdoor session. Season's in. There's bucks coming in up there. We had a listener reach out to us and shot his very first giant, real nice 8-pointer, and Ingram's going to get to mount that. So
That's pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet about that. Shout out Matthew on that. Hopefully he gets to come down here soon. We're going to meet him, show him the studio. He wants to see the studio and might hook him up with a few goodies while he's here.
Gonna try.
Yeah, he said he's messaged us at 10:30 the other night, said he was listening to the podcast, and he just shot his first buck, and he wants to start a YouTube and trying to talk him through it. So hopefully be able to help him out, get him on the right track, and get him into hunting and not some other stuff that might take him down the wrong course in life. So I think that's what happened to me. Like when people were like hardcore partying or doing dumb stuff, I was too worried about chasing bucks when I was young. So
Right.
I didn't play sports. So because it interrupted my basketball season was a total interruption
terrible.
on deer season. So I was like, So my freshman year after that, I was like, all right, this is messing my buck killing time up. I got to quit this and
Gotta
start
get my
killing buck.
priorities straight
Yeah.
here.
So let's get into ECW calls. It's about time to get those grunt tubes out. We've been using them a little bit. I haven't grunted at any bucks this year because I haven't seen anything worth grunting at.
True.
But we got him in the bag. I'm not really big on vocalizations early unless I see something and I can kind of feel out his demeanor. But coming up the next few weeks, the grunt is like the most clutch tool I feel like in the bag. If you got a buck that's not wanting to come in,
Yeah.
I've killed 2 off of just a grunt.
I just think your instinct is to grunt first.
Yeah, well, that's like the most respectful way to talk to a deer. You know what I mean? If you just rattle right off the bat, he might be like, okay, I'm out of here,
Yeah.
Or if you snort wheeze, he might be like, oh, I'm not doing that. But that's where you start off. That's where everybody starts off, you know. And with that, it's a 5-tone, so you can hit an estrus, you can hit a doe bleat, buck, a young buck, old buck, kind of throw some variety at them. I normally just keep mine on buck. I'm not a big estrus caller.
Yeah.
I'm not ripping the can call out there very much.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
I've ripped it a couple times.
Yeah, I just haven't had much success. Nothing against those calls.
You
I
just-
just haven't had much success with them, so I don't use them.
Just throwing the kitchen sink at him, trying anything,
Yeah.
get him to commit.
Yeah, but all your custom call needs, ECW has got you hooked up there. You got scentlock?
Yeah. I got my closet, and that also come with a couple boot pucks that we had talked about. I have definitely needed them when we're packing in deep on public and coming out with as warm as it's been this season so far. My feet are sweating and really, really clogging up the boots there. So get them boot pucks in there, man, dude. It's really nice, really nice. Something that it's not taking up a whole bunch of room in your bag. So them boot pucks are coming in clutch.
One thing I did this year was I found some super cheap rubbers because I was like, all right, and they were nice. Like I think they were like $12 a piece. So I bought 3 sets because I go through rubbers like crazy because I like to wear it during shed season and stuff. But put them in my basement, and I just broke out the second pair. So I just been throwing them in my ozone bag. I know it eats rubber, but I'm thinking, man, $12. Like,
Yeah.
If it weakens it a little bit and cracks it, I'm cool. You know what I mean? But it's just trying to get some of the smell out. I don't do it every time, but at least every other time that we go hunting.
Do they hold up pretty solid for
Yeah.
being $12?
Yeah, super solid.
Nice.
Garden brand is what they are. I have my late season nice hunting boots, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But these are comfortable. I'm a rubber boot guy wearer. I'm not like
are.
Ingram though, but
He's always got big, huge,
he's got the
bulky
huge
ones, dude.
giant ones on. But yeah, I do like them. I like that. If there's any water, I don't even think about it. Like when we pulling cams, and we had to cross that creek, you got soaked, and I was solid.
I
So
tried
you
it.
never know what you're going to run into. But that's one thing I've been doing. I've just been throwing them in my bag, and I haven't seen any deterioration at all on any of the. Like the top is kind of that elastic
Right.
band, and I heard some people say, one time I put it in there and it ruined it, but I haven't seen any. And I'm running that thing on like 4 or 5 cycles. is what I'm doing, like a 30-minute cycle. And then I run it like an hour and a half when I get home, 2 hours, and pull it up before I go to bed. So it's been running for a while.
Wow.
All right, let's get into the show. So what's the date? It is
19th.
the 19th today. We are about to go out. It's 2:30 right now. Hopefully we can get in the stand by 3:30. Should be able to around then. We're getting ready to go out and try to make something happen. We're on the fence. We haven't hunted our private yet at all. There's bucks there. They're on cam. There's one that's repeatedly on cam. All the ones we got in velvet have came back.
And last year, that buck that's been the most frequent
Was gone.
After mid-October, he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And we had him velvet, and right after he shed velvet, and then like first cold front in October, he rolled out.
Yeah, so he's there. Got a lot of fresh scrapes opening up. We just went out, changed some batteries on the mobile and stuff, and did some stuff out there. We probably should go out there so I could flip that mobile around and not get 200 pictures of grass a day. But I didn't get that done today. I need to, at least tomorrow I'll go do that. But we set some cameras to video mode over some scrapes. We have never ran these cams on video mode, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully get some cool content there. Be able to get a good idea how they're coming into the scrape, how they're exiting the scrape. I got one kind of where they're exiting the property on video, see kind of how they're exiting, if they're coming in, what time and what angle they coming in, to figure out, are they coming off the corn, are they coming off that draw, what they got going on. So we're still jacked. We got giant bucks on cam, but I think this would be my 8th hunt or 7th hunt.
I think you're 8th, my 6th.
Yeah. So I mean, I put quite a bit of staying time in, and we're hunting a lot of places for the first time this year.
Mm-hmm.
I've been walking into timber I've never even stepped foot in my whole entire life, and just packing in every filming gear, sticks, stand, everything that you need, and finding a spot to set up and setting up. I took a doe early. I can't remember what date that was.
Yeah,
but
that was early. I think the 8th.
Yeah, I took a doe. I think that was my 2nd or 3rd time going out.
Yeah, it would have been your 3rd time.
Yeah, and took a doe, got that out of the way early. I processed myself and I aged it, and that's something I haven't done a lot of, and that is like a game changer, dude. Since I got that big fridge outside and I can age them, 100% game changer. But got that out of the way. I'd like to get another doe. I've had plenty of opportunities. I just hadn't want to pull the trigger in case something with antlers come popping over the ridge right after, and then I got 2 deer I got to get down because everywhere we're hunting, it's no vehicle access at all.
Yep.
So I think we're being pretty risky this year, like we talked about. We're doing a lot more on edge things than I normally do. Nothing's panned out yet.
Nope.
But
I think if we were playing it safe, it'd be even worse.
Yeah. On public, man, we know where we need to be to kill. We've got that figured out. We know what the cams are reading, but it's just when we need to be there is what is the problem. We found a huge 3-way pinch where kind of 2 swampy pond areas meet in a big old overgrown pasture, and we hunted it last weekend.
Yep.
And every deer, seen 4 deer, and every deer came in bow range, and every one of them did exactly what we thought they would. So that was super nice for them to come in and work right where we wanted them to. And they were all, 15, 20-yard shots, 10-yard shots, every one of them. That was a packing in the dark, find a tree.
I was like, go to the tree that you planned on hanging in, realize you can't hang in it, and then you have to still find another spot in the dark.
I kind of knew about that spot. I had it marked, but that's not what was our go-to plan.
No.
But we pulled the cam and we're like, okay, 2 for sure shooters, 1 mega, 1 really nice solid buck back in here. I mean, daylighting too early, so you know he's bedding back there. You know he feels safe. But we've seen a half rack buck, spike buck, and then 3 does. So we've seen
2 does.
2 does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then one was Oh, yeah, the spike came through the pinch, and the other ones came across the water pinch. So there's a
Yeah.
spot where it's deep water, pinch is down, and they're crossing right there, right to us. We had a doe come in real early while we were setting up. And pretty much like the tree that we're in, we can get up pretty high in using some limbs and stuff. And we were still kind of getting ready, and she looked right up at us, and homie turned around like, oh, crap, you know what I mean? Because we were running late. Like, we had already planned on going one area and then having to loop around. Reason we couldn't hunt the first stand because it was in 2 foot of water, standing water. So it was like, do you go out there and hang a stick, go for a swim, or
Right.
what do you do? But when we had scouted it even earlier in the fall, or the first of fall, there was no water. It was dry.
It was dry, yep.
There's deer tracks in it, you know, and we got a ton of rain, you know, the last couple of weeks and filled it all the way up. And that's one thing we were thinking about, like, that's stuff that you have to be able to adjust on. So having that second spot like we did was pretty key. We even had a third spot and a fourth spot. We're like, where we could do this, we could do this. So we just walk around back there. Basically, there's very limited trees. So we're like, can we get in this tree? Okay, we can get in this tree. This is a potential spot. Might not be the right spot, but if you're back that far, you got to hunt somewhere. And I don't know about homie, I just don't like hunting on the ground. I can't get over it. I like to be up in the stand.
I mean, yeah, especially bow hunting.
I mean, like, all those deer that we would have seen that day would have been 5 yards from us if we would set up on the ground where we were talking.
Up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't feel like they would have spooked getting that close. There's not a lot of cover back there
Yeah.
that you can shoot, but yeah, that's kind of the public land update. We're on a hot scrape, just random ass trail cam pulls, like bucks in daylight here, then gone for 15 days, and then they're back, and then they're in daylight, and then they're gone for 20. Like, it just, I don't get it, man. And then the scrape's hot. There's like 4 or 5 bucks on it, and then it goes another week, and then 1 buck hit it in daylight for 7 days. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and there's really no rhyme or reason to any of it that we have found yet. We've looked at the temperatures, the wind shift, just not finding anything to really make them do what they're doing. It's just random.
yeah, it's just random. We pulled 1 cam out there, and we thought this was a good area where they were coming back off the fields, and we get like 10 does. Almost every morning, does going through there, going the exact same direction.
Which one?
The cottonwood tree.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, so we know there, if we were to hunt in that area, the does are coming off that field, headed that way. If there's a buck behind them, that's how they're going to be working. Mm-hmm. So that was a good pull.
No bucks on that cam.
No bucks on that cam. And the one where they're daylighting's 150 yards away. Mm-hmm. So that just shows you that you can be just off that 1 cam a little bit.
That cam's only showing you what it's looking at.
Yeah, so we're running 2 cams on, or 2 mobiles on our private, and we're running them on the food plot and a hot scrape. And the bucks are there. They're just not daylighting. They're not even close. They're still in that October, the juries say it all the time, like 11 to 4, 11 to 5, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that early morning, late movement, and we did have chaos at like 7:28 on a property at night. So he was flirting with it. There's nothing special about that night. No, not a temp drop, nothing.
It was cold.
Was it?
It was cold
that night.
Because that was when I busted out my late season suit.
That morning you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they're like, shit, do we go there?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was cold.
But we got everything in place. The mobiles are running. I'm getting the intel on them, and that's kind of how we're doing the private. We're just trying to stay off of it and then go in there, first hunt, and just strike and kill. That's kind of our tactics there. There's just so many options. We can play with the wind so much on all the public places we got. We were counting the shooter bucks that we're chasing right now, and it's like 9 or 10 really solid shooter 140 to 170 class deer, you know what I mean?
And with our private this year, it's the second year hunting it. First year, we're just trying to learn how the deer are using it, make a game plan. We were obviously chasing Mr. Freeze last year, didn't hunt it there in the rut, and that's when it was really good. But We had hunted there in October a couple times, just trying to keep pressure off the lease. So this year, I can say since we haven't been on it, other than to pull cams, and that's it. There's a lot more shooters on there this year.
Yeah.
And they're staying around so far.
Yeah, I feel like when we hunted October, like Chaos was there and then he left.
It's gone.
There's a lot more buck sign there this year, I think, than there was last year at this time. All them scrapes opening up north up there wasn't all them scrapes, you know.
I wonder if there was a scrape on the creek draw like there is this year.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
know if there was or not.
I never really seen him on cam doing it last year, but you can see him on cam this year.
I didn't know if that scrape that you found up in the timber when you pulled cams that wasn't there.
Nope.
So there's
but
probably
there's all them shit rubs back there. I mean, just everything's rubbed. And it was even last year we knew that there was old rubs right there, and then they come in and hit some new ones. Yeah. So
such a random property for bucks. I don't know why one just don't live in there, but they don't. They just cruise that. I think they're living in the fields, to be honest with you.
Just keep a tab on them does all the time because you know them does are just gonna be right there.
Yeah, they're just keeping a tab on them does. I mean, I get those does on the scrape all the time, going in the same direction. Nocturnal. I'm like, what are you girls doing out there?
I know, yeah, even the does are nocturnal.
Yeah, like there's not very many does even in daylight. I mean, we were getting like a lot of year-old bucks in daylight. That seems like what we're getting, and a few does, button bucks, but nothing really major that is getting us excited to be able to like, okay, this is going to be our first time in. It is a small property. It's 38 acres. Probably maybe 10 or 12 of it's timber. I wouldn't even know if that much is timber.
And the way we have our cam set up is able to kind of bread trail them to a point, you know, to see how they're really coming through. And we haven't really even seen that, you know.
No, it's like they're just popping in and popping out.
Like we need to get a cam like on that west side, on the south, on the field edge, or in that timber right there to see if they're hitting that down in the timber on the south now. If they're hitting that, and then if they're coming by the scrape tree, or how they're snaking through the other side and using the creek.
Yeah, that's something that, you know, we need in a year actually hunting it hard, like during the rut, and we'll figure out a little bit more how they're using it. But we just got so many opportunities on public right now that I think we're doing the right thing, and I hope we're doing the right thing. But I feel like with all the cams out there in the strategic areas that they are, I'm not saying that we're with 100% that nothing's daylighted on that property that's killable, but pretty damn sure nothing's. So I think we're putting a lot of eggs in the basket on cams, which could be wrong. We could kick ourselves in the ass in a month, you know, and be like, well, they've been in here all the time. But I feel like,
but even if they have been in there, then I mean,
there's no pressure.
Yeah.
So you know that they're there.
But if you go in there and they're not there, and you're leaving a bunch of sin everywhere, then they ain't gonna be there.
I think in 10 days, we'll be there. You know what I mean? Even 8-ish days, that's when we'll start. It's not gonna be peak rut. It's gonna be that pre-rut when the bucks that are in that area are checking for does. We know there's a doe family on the north. We know there's a doe family kind of in that creek bottom that comes in every night. We know where they're at, so we just hunt them. But we haven't spooked any does on that place. We haven't done anything. Every time we pull cams, we drive in there. You pulled cams, and then 3 hours later, there was a giant buck hitting the scrape.
Right, and literally went right by where he had to cross where I drove.
Yeah.
And that was literally the closest he's been to daylight this year.
Yeah, so I feel like if you drive in there like that, it's just like a combine. Or
pop out 4 yards, pull the card, hop back in.
Yeah, and we got our cam set up kind of like that. We got one cam that what we thought was embedding. It was a mobile cam, and we ran it for
2 months.
Yeah, and we got them in velvet, and then after that, it was pretty dead. That's something that we should maybe go pull here next week and see what it looks like. But that's kind of our update for there.
Because I made a scrape back there too. See if they hit that.
Yeah, they could be back there hitting that. That's a really good rut setup. How I set it up, I think. We just don't feel confident in killing early season there. There's nothing that gets them up. We don't have a huge, like, clover field or something to pull them in. We got beans and oats and wheat, but they're not utilizing it in daylight, you know. So
And I mean, it's all surrounded by corn right now.
yeah, it's all
There's only
surrounded
one
by
other
corn.
ag
and-
bean field.
Yeah, and no one's picked anything around there.
Yeah. They're getting
That's all-
close though.
yeah.
On the across the road, not that direct field, but the one that joins it,
Mhm.
it's picked.
Nice.
So that corn's gone.
Yeah, hopefully that pushes some off of that little west piece that
Yeah,
we think they're living
right.
in. We get deer just come out of nowhere on cam. We're like, where has he been? It just had to come out of the corn and just
Yeah.
running. But we're not giving up yet by any means. There's a lot of season left. We got both of our rut vacations coming up. We got our Missouri trip coming up. Like I said, we're on so many bucks. I don't want to say that we're going to get it done, but we're going to get the opportunity soon. It's just a matter of time. We got to keep going out. We got to keep hunting. I will say this, though. I've never in my life of hunting put in more work by this time than we have right now.
It's been a lot.
Like the drive of, I mean, eight hunts, and I haven't walked to a stand and hunted one time. I went in, packed in a stand, hung a stand, took a stand down, packed it out every hunt. And that's what I did. I did 8 total all last year, you know, and we're talking the 19th of October, and I've done 8 already, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, remember I said I wanted to double that this year. I think I want to quadruple that when it comes late season out on the Suburban, you know what I mean? But
can you leave one up out there?
leave 3.
Leave 3?
Mm-hmm.
It's just not knowing, like having no intel out there.
Yeah.
You just don't want to
Yeah,
throw a stand up.
So my Suburban piece, this is my first year out there. I got on it pretty late. I think it was like you had to shoot to qualify. I did that like 4 days before season.
Yeah,
I mean, it was right there. So we were too busy trying to cover a lot of public ground and David Weaver balling on a budget, you know what I mean?
Right.
We only got so many cams, right? And you want your cams on private, and then we want cams on public, but you can't cover. We don't have enough cams, right? That's one thing we don't have, and I even bought a couple more. Just investing the money to let them soak all year is what needs to be done at the Suburban. Then I would know. But literally, what I'm doing, it's like picking an area, walking in there, looking for sign, looking where I think deer will be, and hanging and hunting. And the first hunt on that property, never been on it before, walked in, seen 4 does, killed one. Second hunt, I went out there, walked in, thought I was in the right area, got permission from a homeowner out there to access through his property to get to a certain spot that I wanted to look at that looked good, ended up being shit. Walked all the way through half the stuff that you're allowed to hunt. Got to like 3 ridges deep where you got to go down and up, and I'm like, this is where I want to hunt, and seen 13 deer, 9 within shooting range. You know what I mean? Second hunt out there. So I'm doing the right things out there, I think. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where the bucks are, you know what I mean?
No, it's just like, could be on the, just like the private, like they just ain't there, or they're just nocturnal as hell and they're just holding tight. And like, if we didn't have cams on the private and say we're hunting there, we'd be like, well, there's no deer here.
If we had no cams on private and hunting, we'd be like, there's no shooter bucks here.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you how close you can be to those bucks. And I mean, 728, you're talking 30 minutes after shooting light, good shooting light. So he's 30 minutes from an ag and being on an ag field, you know what I mean? So he'd already walked through 3/4 of the property to get there where we think he was potentially bedding. But I mean, he could have been bedding in that corner in that grass. You really never know. That's one bad thing about our piece is it's a lot of CRP grass, and we burn it 12 acres last year, and it's like 8 foot tall.
Dude, that shit is 8 foot tall.
Yeah, so
it's taller than my truck.
A deer could literally bed anywhere. So we feel like if we go out there and hunt, the chances of bumping a deer are high because we're huge on access, but you just can't access it. Perfect. You just that down the road that we created is pretty much the best way to access it, I think.
I was thinking when we hunted that stand right there, the new one we put up, if we went up to that north cornfield and walked north.
That's what I would get, and then get in that creek, walk the creek.
Right. Sneak up the backside, boom.
Yeah, that's probably that's the same thing I was thinking. West or southwest wind is perfect. Get in there. If that corn's standing, it'd be even better. But
Yeah.
anything that's bedded in that grass, because like I said, when I hunted that east side or the west side on that east wind, I seen 10 or 15 deer, and they were literally just standing up out of nowhere out of the grass, and I'm like, well, there's a buck right there. But
Yeah, and you could see the whole property.
yeah, I could see 85% of it, you know what I mean, where I was at, and seen a ton of deer, but
I don't know how you got in that tree.
willpower, man.
Jeez.
Just
Can we both get in there? Is it because
Yeah.
there's another little one there
yeah,
in there?
yeah, we can both get in
Nice.
there. We need to splurge, make something crazy happen. But that's what we're about to do right now on public. We got to talk. It's supposed to rain. I don't know if we're gonna go balls deep, or we're gonna play it safe on the edge and try to get another doe down, or what we're gonna do. But homie hasn't even had the opportunity to shoot a doe.
Nope.
Or
Well,
you've
yeah,
had opportunities
yeah.
to shoot, but we've
I
just
did.
been so deep.
I did,
You've had a
yeah.
lot of opportunities to shoot, but
I had a fat doe,
Yeah.
at 8 yards.
But you're just so
It's
deep,
just
it's just
dumb
not
deep.
worth it. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
you-
no way. Like if you
We
shoot
were
a buck
dying just walking out
with our
with our
stuff,
shit.
yeah.
So, I mean, getting a buck out would definitely be worth it. But, man, getting a doe out, I mean, you're just like, got all year to get a doe down,
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of told myself, like, because I've never shot a deer before October 17th or 14th, I can't remember. And, like, that was one of my goals was kind of, to get one down, like, super early. Kind of like you, just go in there, boom, done, see ya. Didn't happen, but I'm going to really restrain myself from, maybe in a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, like, maybe just before Halloween, through the rut to not kill a doe and just hold off and just keep it, try to keep it extra fresh. If we're on the private, and take it up late season.
That's
but late
something that we
season on
don't
the
ha-
private,
Yeah.
it wasn't very good last year as far as the cams were.
I think that heavy snow just flattened
Yeah.
it, and they moved out. But that's something that the private don't have. There's not a huge deer density there, I don't believe. But a few does could definitely be taken off. And
Oh yeah, because
shotgun season is a prime time to do it.
some magnum does off that.
Yeah, drop a couple good does and get the freezers filled up plumb full. I know we won't have a problem doing that this year. We know where they're at. It's just our mind's on antlers now, and if a doe gives us a good opportunity and we're in a good area, we'll take it. But it's just like people say they go deep, and we're not as deep. We're not like 3 miles deep like
No.
people say. You know what I
No.
mean? But we're about a mile. But just the access is terrible. It's absolutely terrible to get to.
Like I'm probably in the best shape of my adult life, and it's kicking my ass.
Yeah, I get to the top of that hill, and I'm like, I'm not going elk hunting ever in my life.
No, yeah. I was like, how many times
'Cause
do we
I
say
would
that
die.
crawling out of there? Like,
Yeah.
we're never gonna be able to go elk hunting.
No.
ever.
Never. But we haven't weighed our packs, but they got to be 50, 60 pounds
Yeah,
with all the
mine
camera gear.
was
And
mine was like 48 when I
Yeah.
weighed.
it's just so much, man. You got to take in there, try to
That
get this
was-
on film. But we have been getting a lot of cool film, a lot of good B-roll, and a lot of good encounters. But like I said, it's just nothing with the potential for. We haven't even seen a shooter buck yet.
No,
So.
Nope.
But we know they're out there.
We've only had two in daylight on cam.
2 shooter bucks in daylight on cam. And
Maybe if we want to shoot that other one on that scrape.
yeah, that's
Was that Wicked one? Was he daylight back there?
No.
It was. Oh yeah,
he was,
it was
like
nocturnal.
11 o'clock.
Jeez,
dark
brutal.
30.
Brutal out here.
So we hope the listeners. I mean, if you guys have got it done already, props to you. This is just a time that, like, we hunt hard, but
We're just not very good. We
say it all the time. We're not smart enough to go in and kill a deer and just nail it. Like, there's been a few times in my life where I went in there like, okay, I know this buck's in here. I got a good cold front. The neighbor's picking corn or whatever. I'm going in and I'm gonna kill, and then you kill, but if I added up the amount of times that I had a plan like that and then it coming to fruition this time of the year,
right.
really low percentage. You know what I mean?
Well, see, and with us not having the lease this year, like the properties we do have don't have like the oaks. We don't have that good acorn drop going on where we're hunting. So, I think that's
one thing
the
the
big
suburban
factor.
piece has is
Yeah.
oaks, and then it's too much to choose from.
That's another thing I want to talk about too is, with going hunting public more this year and my first year doing it, there's almost too many options, just like after we wrap this up, we're going to have a conversation about what we're doing, and you can do anything you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't matter the wind. There's always a scenario out there on public multiple scenarios on multiple winds that you can go out there and hunt smart. And it's almost like, it's a headache to a point, but like on the lease, we know east wind, you ain't going out there. You're just gonna have to sit at home, or go to public. So yeah, that's something that is a different factor into how I'm strategizing where and how to hunt this year.
Just like when we wrote that blog, I put that as a positive. Like, there's so many options, but like you said, it is a negative because
you second guess yourself.
Yeah, you're like, I've had success here, and this is like our first year. Like, I've bounced around out there and got on some bucks, you know what I mean? But this is our first year. Like, I scouted it hardcore. We're pounding it hardcore. Like I said, we're on them. It's just a matter of time as we're not there when they're daylighting. You know what I mean? And they're daylighting $2, in 19 days, and it's just sporadic, but
because see, like right now, tonight's hunt is going to be, they're calling for like 3 hours of rain starting at like 4, 5, and 6, and then tapering off. So right as the magical last half hour comes in, the rain's gonna be stopping. So like one thing I love doing is hunting by a scrape or on the way to a scrape with that rain at this time period. It might be just a hair early for it, but somewhere within this next week, like I love that. And
all the buck activities
some
on the private.
I know, yeah, we got bucks hitting it on cam on the private, and I don't think we're gonna go there. You know what I'm saying?
It's up to you. Like I said, I'm trying to keep the back burner. I got a doe down, trying to get homie. I'd really like you to kill early, and then it'd take the pressure off, and then we could bounce back and forth. But that's another thing that we've been doing. It's eliminating us. We're filming together. We're two guys hunting the same tree every time we go out. And instead of, you go hunt this, I'm going to go hunt this.
Yeah, like 500 yards. You hunt here on this scrape, I'm going to go down 500 yards, sit on the field edge.
Yeah.
And,
you could cover a lot more ground, or you go in, crush in deep, I'll do an observation set and see if anything else is coming in. You know what I mean?
So we did an observation set on, like, the second night we went hunting, and we seen one deer at, like, 400 yards for literally 1.2 seconds. Yeah. And then he takes off out of nowhere.
We had coyote go right into where they were bedding.
Yeah.
Literally right when we're hanging stand, coyote comes in. Deer blowing.
Maybe that's why he come out, because he was about right there where that coyote was standing forever. Maybe he got that. But yeah, so like we just did an observation set really, and somebody else could have been doing something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But one guy could have went to that other corner that we're trying to decide which one to go to.
Yeah, we could have went there,
because
that's kind of a new spot.
Yeah, when you're hunting together and you're hunting so many different properties, so many new areas. Like, we're hunting trees that never been hunted before. You know, you can tell, and it's places we've never been, and it's tough walking in there and finding out. Just like we say on, I don't know how many podcasts, as people say, well, you could go here and I could kill a buck the first week. For us to kill what we want to kill, we need a season. We need a season to fill it out. That's what I think. I need a season like, okay, this was dumb. We're never doing that again. You know what I mean? This was right, but we need to tweak it a little bit, and this is what you need to do at this time period. And mean, you're running trail cams out there, a year packing in, getting better at that. But that's one thing we can cover. Our first couple hunts, a little slow hanging. I've packed in a little bit. But I've never hung two stands with two guys, but our system's getting way better now.
I think the camera guy needs to be the first guy to hang and stand.
Yeah.
So he can start getting the shit ready, because you'll be done 10 minutes, and I'm just like getting the camera arm on, So I think that's one thing we need to change is.
Because we've been doing it where the hunter packs his sticks, the hunter hangs.
Right, because, the camera gear weighs obviously a little bit more than the sticks. And so, like, if you're hunting, you're going to be the one hanging because it's your hunt, So you're going to be out there doing a little bit more work, So I think once the hunter gets the sticks up, then the camera guy needs to be the first one up so he can start getting, shit out of his bag and getting set up because it's way longer than you just pulling your bow up, knocking an arrow.
The only thing nice about having the hunter up there is I can throw the strap to you to get the tree arm on. Do stuff like that. You already got a bow hook. If you need to hold something for me, I can say, hey, man, hold this real quick.
Right.
So I think the system we got works good.
Okay.
I know that you have gotten a lot better hanging the stands from the first time.
So not having a lone wolf set until this year, and that's a pretty slick setup. Like it is totally worth the $450 or whatever I paid for it. Like that is real nice. You don't have to put anything together. It's all quiet.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are on the fence about getting a lone wolf set,
the way we took it as once you buy one, you got it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Because you're not leaving it in the woods.
No.
So you got to think about how many days has that thing actually been in the woods compared to a stand that you leave and hang.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 years of a lone wolf is like 1 year on a big game. You know what I mean? Just been hanging out there all year that you never took down.
Yep.
You got to hunt 365 times out of a lone wolf compared to 1 year of a tree stand sitting out there on the private.
Yeah.
So that thing could last 25 years, and it's one time. You buy it one time, and you're done.
And then, you it's not even that big of a deal to hang.
No.
It's super easy. It's pretty quick. So let's say we walked maybe 300 yards from the truck to the tree.
When we went in on that short hunt,
Uh-huh.
I was in my stand in 8 minutes. So my sticks were up. I was set in my tree stand in 8 minutes.
So I think from the truck to being in the tree, it was 20 minutes total with a 350, 400-yard walk.
Yeah.
So I'm really impressed with that, about the ease of use and, just the functionality of it. We're taking a ratchet strap, putting it on the seat to the base of the platform, and putting our book bags on there with another ratchet strap. So then that's also a bulletproof plane. If you find a big tree that you want to get in, you have 2 ratchet straps to get your bottom sticks around the tree, because we ran into that issue too.
I actually had to use 2 ratchet straps to get on the base of one tree, though I killed, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you also have them extra straps that, if the lone wolf straps aren't long enough, then you have those.
I know that they sell longer straps, but that's one thing, unless you pull your straps off, that's the only thing that I have with lone wolf. You just have to wrap them up.
Yeah.
With a ratchet strap, you can get that thing tight and ratchet it, and it's not going to be flapping around. When you wrap it up and cinch it with that cam lock without it being able to pull down on something, it doesn't seem to get tight, you know what I mean? So
are you talking just walking around with the stick?
Yeah. So you always got to untangle it or unravel it.
Yeah.
But I really like the system. It's if you're going to take pack-in hunts seriously, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
And literally, there's no physical way that we could hunt public the way we are right now without them.
The lock and walk.
Oh yeah, the lock and walk is so incredibly solid. That's a product that we found. We heard really good things about, and that's why we had them on. We had them on we knew how much of a game changer it was going to be compared to what I was using before, because I had the Lone Wolf last year, and there's just no comparison to being able to carry that stuff on your hips, on your shoulders. You can adjust that thing so much. And it's quiet.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. If that wasn't on there, if I had them cheap ass muddy straps I had last year, there's no way.
We might make it across that clover field.
Yeah.
And then we're just we're just hanging right here.
Yeah. We even threw our stuff on a cart and maybe thought that would be easier and carted it back. It's easier to carry it on your back with the lock and walk than throwing it on a cart and wheeling it in. If you're going through any tall grass, it gets pretty cumbersome. But
what was that? That was only 4 or 5 inch tall grass, just enough to cover your toes. And man, that was brutal.
Yeah, those wheels are short on that deer cart. They're fat and short.
Yeah.
But it's like a quarter mile across the grass field.
Right.
So you're dang, But
uphill, hill's deceiving.
That hill is deceiving. When you're going uphill the whole way, and then you drop down in the Grand Canyon and come up the other side. It wouldn't be bad if it was open, but you have to
dodging
trees.
Yeah.
You got sticks on your back, and
when when we come out next time, like we're gonna try to mark it somehow.
Yeah. Going in the dark is just brutal.
No.
Going out in the dark is gonna be brutal. Getting a buck out of there is gonna be epic brutal, but it's gonna be a story.
It's gonna be cool.
When
we need to find somebody who can run a camera for us.
Yeah,
when
we're
do
50, I don't think we'll be going back there. We're like, nope, ain't worth it.
I'm
but-
gonna hunt right on that rub right there off the gravel road.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do too. This looks good, but yeah. So, do you want to break down our rep vacations on this one, or what do you think?
So I'm gonna start my vacation. I have 1 week of vacation, and I have 4 days I can take whenever. I used one when I went to Oklahoma this spring. So I'll be starting my vacation on November 9th, and I'll be going back to work on the 25th. So I'm probably just going to take that 11th. That's my day I don't have. That'd be my Oklahoma turkey hunt that I burned up. I'm just either going to have the boss tell me it's okay to not go in or call in sick, or we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I'm going to be off the 9th to the 19th.
9th through the 19th, yep. And then you'll be off that 22nd.
Yeah, the 22nd.
So going to Missouri on the 15th, opening rifle. We'll probably hunt here that morning. And then depending on how good that is, because last year that was the day.
Yeah.
You know, it was on the 9th last year, and that was the day. You seen 2 shooters in the morning. I seen 2, maybe 3 that night in the same area. So, I mean, if it's that good in the morning again, wherever we're at, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the scoop there.
Yeah, so the 9th through the 15th will be all-day sets, some major pack-in all-day sets on public. Going to be hit. That's when we're just going to start piss-pounding the lease, the private. We call it the lease, but we don't lease it. It's like, it's private. We had the lease
private,
before, you know, but we'll be on it, hardcore, hunting it.
Gosh, man, that's only like 3 weeks away, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be brutal. And then we'll load up the 15th, do the 300-mile trip, all-day hunt 16th, all-day hunt 17th, possibly hunt 18th morning if we...
That's a 7-day season down there, isn't it? That's
yeah.
crazy.
And then come back the 18th, and then I'll be going to work the 19th, and then Homie has the whole rest of the week.
Yep, the 20th, 21st, 22nd. I got to fit in a DOT physical, so I might take that day off before.
You might want to take that day
Thanksgiving.
after. You might want to take that 19th
That Monday
off.
off. No, I already have the 19th off.
Oh, for a DOT physical?
No,
Oh.
I already have the 19th off for
Oh,
schedule.
nice. Yeah.
So, because I don't come back to work till the 25th.
Yeah.
So I might take the 27th off right before Thanksgiving
Ooh,
as
nice.
a DOT.
Yeah.
So I'd only come back to work for 2 days and then
Yeah.
have another 5 days,
To
5
hunt.
days off.
Yeah. So that's our outlook now. We got a lot of time to try to get some inches on the ground. It's going to be fun. It's going to be challenging. Last year did 5 all-day sets in that period and then drove down to Missouri. I only had 4 I had 3 days off and then Missouri. So I'm taking 1, 2, 3, be 10 days or 9 days of straight hunting. So hopefully we can get something done.
Hopefully.
But one of the publics we get kicked off of for goose season around that time period, so that one will be out. I don't know about the urban out there. We'll see how that flies, but I know late season that's going to be my main go-to. And there's a lot of those out there, man. I'll be able to fill the freezer.
Yeah, you might have to fill mine.
pretty easy. So, but that's kind of our outlook on the rut. We got Chaos is there. We have one pitcher that we think might be Mr. Maybe, the buck that got shot last year by the neighbor. If it is him, he put on a lot of inches.
A lot of mass, too.
We got that wide short tine 10. So many bucks. It's insane how many bucks that we're on.
Yeah.
And we know where they're living or the area that they're in. It's just getting them to come out in daylight with us in the area.
Yeah.
But I think it just goes down. It's early. We're not good enough. And we're not brave enough to push in on those beds just tighter than hell and bump them. You know what I mean? We don't have that option on the private. They're not betting there. We know that. You know what I mean? We know the does are betting there, but we know the bucks aren't. So on the public, it's hard to find those genuine buck bed because we've been scouting for sign.
Yeah, it is.
It's just not there, man.
Where at?
at public.
Oh yeah,
There's
it's
way
not the-
more.
I would say there's a ton of sign at the private.
Yeah, there's way more sign at the private than there is
Way
on the
more.
public. But that's what I said. We know most of that's been made at night. That's what the mobiles are telling us. That's what every other cam we pulled.
Yeah, I would say even the poll.
If we got $1 on any cam on daylight, I'd be like, okay, we can go try it. You know what I mean? But I mean, what do we got out there? 7 cams. 6. We got 6 cams and not $1 in daylight.
No.
So I feel like I'm not saying one hasn't daylighted there, but
I feel like Chaos did that day. He was at
yeah,
720.
I know he did daylight that day, but
I mean, unless he just hauled ass right
we
up
need
there.
the next cold front. We need to go in on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's getting time.
Yeah, it's getting
Well,
time.
shit, the next cold front will be next weekend.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, at least not be 65.
Yeah.
So,
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get off here and get to the woods and see if we can get something down.
hopefully.
Yeah.
One thing I want to touch on is we're really trying to step up our game on our blogs. Getting some traffic to the website, covering some different things, covering some different tactics too, and then also doing a hunter profile here and there. So
Also, if you guys want to keep up on our public kind of day to day with a little more
that's where I was getting
detail,
to.
a little hints on what bucks we're actually chasing, maybe some pictures floating around. You can find it there. We're doing a public land journal weekly update on there, and we've been getting a lot of traction on there. A lot of people going to the website.
So if you just want to read about all the bullshit we just told you, you can go to the website.
yeah, it's a little more detail, some pics, and kind of some more insight on it, actual hunt to hunt, what's
Yeah.
going on, what we're seeing, and kind of our tactics, why we're going to a certain area. But yeah, I mean, over 1,000 visitors on the website. I mean, we're blown away. So we can't thank you guys enough. We know a lot of the listeners are going there and checking it out. Some people just like to read, man. It blows me away.
Some people just absorb it, or you take this 55-minute podcast and you can compress it down into a 5-minute read, and be like, and then get to see what the hell deer we're talking about.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good shout out. We've been putting a lot of work in that. If you guys haven't, leave us a review and a rating on iTunes. We'd appreciate that. We know there's a lot of listeners that have been reaching out to us. I don't know if it's just because season's coming or what the deal is, but we appreciate everyone that's reached out to us, made that connection. We love that. Starting a lot of friendships, a lot of places. Got a lot of but I'm waiting for a lot of texts, man. That messages. Oh, I got a buck down, and we get a lot of messages of just random guys like, I shot this buck last night. And I'm like, I love that stuff. And then I try to go into the story, how'd you get it done? Because you're better than I am, and I can't get it done out here. So, but all right, we're gonna load up our stuff here and make a plan on where we're going, and go in and get rained on for 3 hours and not see anything. So, get out there, leave a legacy, and White Tail Legacy's out.